GM. This is kind of what it feels like we're living with. This is how it feels to be on Sonic. You know what I mean? This is what the last day felt like. It felt like we were chudda here saying, nah, it won't happen. Sonic is safe. And then we got hit by freaking, I forget what this one is called. But anyway, you think that's accurate, Drac?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell right now for sure. Like, tariff talk again. When Trump initially talked about the tariffs, the market nuked. And then, like, the next day, he was like, just kidding. Everything's getting put off for a month. And that was after he had some demands for Mexico and Canada. I guess everybody complied. So he said, we're going to put it off a month. Well, kind of like the same thing again yesterday, where I guess we're coming up on that 1 month mark or close to it. And he said, no, they're still on the table, guys. So market nuke again.
Well, I mean, this was like, it's interesting. Because I just looked this up. He said the last time he said the tariffs were on a month pause. So I guess it's just the month pause running out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm assuming is that like we're like coming up on the
What if he just does this every fucking month for the rest of our lives, dude? Every he's like hitting the snooze alarm on the tariffs. Every month he's just like, I'll give you one more month.
And I would say maybe this one hits harder with the Bybit hack that happened on Friday. The market was being pretty resilient, considering it was technically the largest hack in crypto history, over $1 billion.
Largest heist in the world, according to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you look at the numbers, it might not be just crypto. It might be like ever.
The next largest was the bank heist in Iraq when Saddam Hussein's son took all of the money in the bank from the central bank.
And that was still like less than this hack.
Yeah, it's like $1 billion. It was interesting, that Bybit thing too, because Bybit remained solvent. Like they still process withdrawals and stuff. They handled it really well.
Yes,
so it was almost like, it sounds stupid to say a bullish hack, right? But it was like,
I mean, that's what like basically saved our asses, was Bybit, I guess, actually having some form of integrity. Unlike FTX, where it would have been like, all right, they just stole $1 billion, and FTX is like, oh, well, we have like 10 million in the bank backing up our funds or whatever. So yeah, I mean, shout out to Bybit for they've ran like a pretty, I guess, above board in terms of everything had backing. Obviously, I'm sure it still hurts them a lot as a company, but I think that was the big thing, was that withdrawals, they still processed withdrawals. I think that was huge. So yeah, we didn't see immediate effects. So like I said, I don't know if like the tariff thing, maybe it's kind of like if you have people in crypto, they're like, okay, $1 billion hack and tariffs coming, and but it's just kind of like too much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I did want to show, this is kind of big right here. Now, this range we've been watching Bitcoin in for now, let's see, 3 months. 3 months of this. We just broke down. Ichi on the weekly, I always say, is insanely powerful. Blue line here, sometimes referred to as a magnet, and it's because like, boom, it just like immediately shot down, tapped it. I guess what's yet to be seen is if we're just having one of those scenarios where, because of like the tariff stuff and everything else, like maybe we recover some form of back above the line here. So I guess that's yet to be seen, because Trump hasn't said the gotcha yet. That's what we're waiting on right now, right? We're waiting
to say it was just a prank.
Yeah, we're waiting to say, bro, like, why are you freaking out, bro? It was just a prank, bro. So
it's crazy, because would a tariff even really affect us? Like, is anyone out here, is anyone in crypto world importing and exporting for our business? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've talked about before, where I just feel like, it's not that I feel like, I mean, it's pretty much if you watch the market, but we're just so like entangled with the stock market. And like I said on another episode, the dream was always that we were going to decoup from the stock market, blah, blah, blah. But we're just there's too much institution tied in. So it's like, whether we like it or not, when there's a big stock market crash or panic or whatever, it's just going to affect our market. I mean, there's just no way around it.
And Citadel's joining the books. We're getting even more entangled, bro.
Yeah. So that's what I would say right now, though, is we're waiting for Trump to say, just kidding. They've decreased the fentanyl production down in Mexico, and we're okay now. We're not going to tariff after all.
We're waiting on our my Lord Trump to save us once more from
Yeah.
From the risk he's put us in.
Their recession fears, similar to what's happening in the US. There are countries that are closer to recession than we are, that are concerned about inflation and everything else. So yeah, I mean, it's a global thing as well. And the tariffs affect everything. So yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of we're waiting. Like I said, we're waiting for that gotcha. Hopefully it comes sooner than later.
Yeah. So the party's not over yet, but we're waiting on the beer run. You know what I mean? We've got to keep this party going.
Yeah, and I mean, Sonic ultimately decently, like, pretty resilient, considering that Ethereum is down double digits. And I want to say Ethereum was down like 12, 13%, and Sonic was down 13 or 14%. To me, why that's significant is a tumble that large on Ethereum is usually like a guaranteed all alts are going down like way more than that. I think if usually Ethereum took a tumble that was like over 10%, you would probably see like Fantom or Sonic down like 25, 30% on the day. So that to me is like a sign of strength. So there's some upside there.
It is. If Sonic is gaining strength, we're only down with like 15% on the day. I mean, not just look, that's a lot of money, but not nearly as bad as like you're saying. Also, we had a hell of a run this month.
Yeah, I mean, hard to deny. This is the daily, so we're looking at what, I don't know, 10, 11, less than 2 weeks. Went from 40 something cents, just about tapped $1, hit 98 there. So I think the narrative continues that you're still seeing a lot of inflow to Sonic from other chains right now. Solana still getting beat up on. People are kind of fleeing. I think people have just had it with the retail meme token scams. Something's happening over there, and I guess it's going to be interesting to see what happens after all this when the smoke kind of clears. Like, because I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Pump Fun is still, we'd have to pull up the revenue. I'm sure Pump Fun is still like making crazy money every day, but I would doubt it's compared to like anything like what it was. Maybe it was just, maybe the whole thing, it's just catching up to them finally, that maybe this whole thing was just too extractive for retail users, for, I mean, power users, whatever. I don't know anyone that hasn't at least like gotten burnt on Pump Fun like once.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a rite of passage.
Yeah, I mean, like when it was earlier on, a lot of us were hopping on there. It was still kind of like the bear market, and viewed it more like fun, Pump Fun. But you kind of started to see this darker side. People that aren't skilled in the crypto market, people that aren't skilled in any kind of investing at all, just kind of getting sucked in because of the promise of gains and everything else. Probably
the
don't
latest
want
and greatest crypto casino is what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely like a casino. And that's how you had to go in with that mindset of like the famous saying in crypto, of course, don't invest more than you're willing to lose. But you did see these stories of, I mean, like also happening last week. Obviously, I'm trying to think how to phrase it. I don't know if it'll like flag anything on the algo or something, but a guy killed himself on live stream. I guess it was Friday or over the weekend or whatever. He didn't do it on the Pump Fun stream because they already had to get rid of those because of other shit.
But it was time to do a token, right? He said something like, make a token of me or something.
Yeah, like basically the guy was down bad from memes on Solana, and obviously having some mental health stuff. But he did a live stream and basically, yeah, I mean, killed himself, and it was all for this token. He said, I'm going to kill myself and everybody pump my token, which is just so like dark, like so like Black Mirror. Like, I don't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is just another day on Sol. It's like, yeah, pretty much, right?
It was kind of like moving in that direction already, but it's like, because I think we talked about it before, like on Pump Fun, all the stuff that was going on. We had like child abuse, adult abuse.
Yeah, people like locking people in cages and being like, I'm not going to let them out until it hits 1 million market cap or whatever.
People being like, I'm going to sit on the toilet until whatever, which is like a funny thing or whatever, but I don't know. There's like the person that was sitting in the bathtub or whatever, and their skin started to like come off or whatever. They were just in the water too long.
Yeah, I mean,
look, besides all the gruesome stuff, we also had some really other, literal torture streams. We had fucking Mexican cartels launching tokens, ripping people's faces off on camera. And that's what the soul community, that is the most representative thing of the soul community. That's what I'm gonna say right now. Okay, that's what they're like. Okay, this is what gets their rocks off. That's why they tolerate this sort of thing. Here on Sonic, we're wholesome. We just have fun with our little goggles, guys. You know what I mean? THC. We're not over here talking about freaking, I don't know, Colombian neckties and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I had a post about that where it was like all we got to worry about over here on Sonic is what yield we're farming today. We don't got to worry about some
who's dying today, dude.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about like some like TikTok rapper's token that's gonna rug in 30-45 minutes.
Let me qualify that though, Drac, because I'm in conversation with Dave Blunt's team. We're gonna see about getting a Dave Blunt's token on, and I don't think he's gonna suck because he needs.
Yeah, I take back whatever I just said because Dave Blunt's token is, I think a Dave Blunt's token is really like what could put this over the top because he's not gonna rug.
Yeah, he can't rug, dude. He's not fast enough.
And these bitch niggas go hate me because I already know we got a panic relief.
Like, dude,
build a rug.
Yeah, we'll just give him the whole. We'll just be like, bro, like we'll handle the token for you. We'll make it rug proof. David Blunt's token.
Yeah, rug proof and up only. We'll use eggs technology. Have you seen the Kanye account? He sold his account to some retard.
Yeah, that's been very interesting.
Even keep it together for like a week to rug.
Yeah, now that's been very interesting too, because obviously, Ye launching a token was like the holy grail. Everybody thought it was coming, and then
only one bigger than Trump, dude. Only one bigger than Trump.
And then all of a sudden, you can tell from the tweets, it's like the guy, whoever's doing the posting, is like really trying to emulate him. But then they'll have a post where it's like Hyperliquid, bro. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to check that out. And you're like, there's no. What do you mean, like? Like Ye went from like writing in all caps with like 4 or 5 spaces in between each word, and like then it's just like, ooh, Solana, that sounds cool. I better look into that.
It would just be like, I love Binance. I'm gonna need my own block. He had one that was like, I'm gonna need my own blockchain. Closer to a Ye tweet, but I don't think Kanye would ever say the word blockchain.
No,
I don't know why it would ever come up to him.
Follow says, so did he sell the account? I don't know if there's anyone that can like officially verify it, but I guess there's been some threads and some posts about, like, there was one that was pretty damning where the guy basically spelled out like exactly who has the account, who bought it. He was able to kind of connect the dots. So I don't know if it's been like officially verified. It might just be conspiracy theory, but
I would delegated it too.
Like, yeah, and that might be the case. Maybe he does want to launch a token, and he's just delegated it to these guys that are like I said, they're.
One of the tweets he had up there before he deleted it was one of those things that crypto guys do, which I always thought, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, I always thought it was very feminine, very gay. It was where you take all your phones and you have your Twitter open and you.
Oh yeah, God, it's terrible. I hate that. Like, makes me like cringe, bro.
It makes me think of like girls going out for drinks and they all put like their nails in the middle. You know what I mean? So like but they did that with Kanye and like some other thing, whoever it is that's like partnering with him. And someone pointed out, like, why would you, like, Kanye is the most doxed person in the world. Why would he hide his identity? You would just take a picture with him, right? That's like how you would be like, I'm working with him.
And Kanye, and maybe that's like, and I guess there's something there where maybe it is a case that like Kanye still has control, but he has delegated or he sold that to somebody that they can post or something. Because from the actual Kanye account, they were quick to be like, I do not know this person. Like, that's not me. So I guess kind of like the, if any federal entity is looking at this tweet, I do not know how it was posted. Like,
just covering his ass, just the smallest way possible.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, S pretty resilient, still playing on the meme lines. Like I said, it's starting to wick up some from the initial dump. So, like I said, hoping we get some good. It kind of sucks, right? Like, conference weeks are usually like pretty bullish for the market. Ethereum Denver is this week, and it's one of the big shows. But Bybit hack, tariffs, all kinds of uncertainty going into it. it's like, I don't know if it's going to pump us this time.
Yeah. Vitalik needs to go up on stage and say, "I'm going to kill Elon Musk." That'll pump the market, dude. That's the only thing you can say at this point. It's also kind of a scary area here, just at the 70-cent mark. Because remember from it's a different chart. Remember the Phantom chart, the volume cliffs were like right around this area. So if we bounce off here, we're good. If not, default zone.
Yeah, could be some pain. Like I said, I haven't reversed the fibs to show the new retracement. I'd be curious to see where that lands if we are gonna go lower.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to what we got first. Magpie. What do you do? HUBBLE, STARGATE, or Magpie?
Yeah. So here, just a couple little things today. I thought this was interesting. Magpie is going to introduce kind of like what they're calling boosts, where you earn incentives. Magpie is like one of the big aggregators on Sonic. Big fan of it. So they made a little video.
Cute. Lord of the Rings. Magpie, let me know who did this video for you, dude. That was delightful.
It was very like very soothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like basically what you're looking at here is Magpie is going to be like incentivizing certain swaps. Right now they got a thing here with eggs to claim some eggs. And yeah, right now they're showing that you swap to SCUSD or SCF ETH. I mean, you start earning rewards, and that's showing you here how like you earn some eggs. And then of course all these boosts, all these amplifiers for your points. So yeah, right now it's a team up mostly with Rings, which Rings is brought in.
Wait, these eggs are different though. These are Magpie eggs.
Wait, hold on one second.
Eggs are because the denomination is like insignificant for like if it was the other eggs. So like eggs are the concept of eggs is just sweeping the market, dude.
It is. It really is. See what the eggs have started. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. Magpie eggs. Yeah, so I'm assuming then that it's points for their eventual airdrop, because I know they're working on something here with like their own token eventually. Follow says eggs on eggs. That's right. Now if they really wanted to set it off, it would be like earn eggs and eggs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
double your eggs. Yeah,
double your eggs. Frittatas and omelets, dude. Whatever you like.
Yeah, earn eggs and eggs. But yeah, no, I mean it's still a cool incentive. It's an aggregator, so it's already finding you like the best deal, the best price on the network. If you haven't used Magpie, I highly recommend it. It's like super smooth, super fast. It's like I said, it's how I do most of my swaps. I just enjoy it, and you'll be surprised. I mean, because they have access to like pretty much like all the pools around the network, even like stuff that has like deep liquidity. Sometimes I'll be surprised. I'll just go check Magpie, like if I'm on a DEX, and I'll just go check Magpie anyway, and they still manage to get a better deal. So
interesting.
Yeah, and I think they're integrated now into. I know they're integrated directly in the Shadow. Like you can actually just pick when you're trading on Shadow. You can actually just click like use Magpie to like aggregate my swap or whatever. So pretty awesome. But yeah, just wanted to point that out. That's more points, all kinds of points for eventual money.
Scoring, it's just so many points. It's hard to keep track of, dude. It's insane right now. The amount of incentives on Sonic.
I feel like sometimes I think about like I'm worried that I'm gonna like leave money on the table because every single thing I use anywhere is giving me points for something or like an airdrop that's their project, or that's what somebody should make is like some kind of dashboard that can just put every single thing that you're acquiring points for somewhere like in front of your eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be useful. Like where am I getting most of my points from? That kind of breakdown, right?
Yeah, and I mean not even just like on Sonic, but I mean like just anywhere. Because like I said, I feel like just about every single thing I use, I feel like I'm earning points for something, and I don't necessarily even always know what it's going to give me. Or
yeah, I wonder how many airdrops I've got left on the table out here, just because like I just didn't know that they were doing one. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, pretty much basically the thing about Sonic right now is you could pretty much just do anything and you'll score something. You know what I mean? That's what's kind of cool about it though, right? Like there's pretty much nothing you can touch in the ecosystem that won't pay you some sort of point.
And I mean, that's what I love about it, honestly, is just because of all the yield and everything else that's going on, it's nice to be able to kind of have like a lot of, I mean, so much of our stuff. It's nice to be able to like feel like I can just pretty much keep like most of my funds on Sonic, because that's like honestly where the best yield is right now, like just in general. But then it's like, yeah, it's like I'm stacking Sonic points. Like I said, all the protocols, almost everybody's got something they're doing, whether it's gems or a future token launch or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it's the place to be, but you already know that.
You already know that because you're here. Now, let's see about this HUBBLE bubble. What is HUBBLE again? HUBBLE is like some sort of
so
cat. Okay.
HUBBLE brought to you by some of the guys that work on like the Cult, which started on Fantom. Here's all these like partner announcements. Basically, it's a from what I've gathered, because it hasn't launched yet, it's like a unique take on a tomb fork. So you're gonna have all your things that like you have on like a tomb fork, like the token that's gonna like maintain peg to S, then kind of like your T share. It'll be called, I guess, G HUBBLE or something. But they have this unique element. It kind of reminds me of Shadow a little bit, where to earn certain things, you have to like kind of like stake your HUBBLE for X HUBBLE, and you can like break your lock. But if you break your lock, a certain amount of like what you sell goes back to like other stakers. And no tomb fork has done that to my knowledge. And yeah, I think it's pretty interesting way to do it. So I think that's like, it's been shown that it works pretty like well with Shadow to be like, hey, if you want to get your money, you can get it, but you're going to pay a little bit of a penalty or whatever. So they're kind of going to try that same thing, where then like anybody that breaks their lock or whatever, people that are still in the system staking are going to get some like proceeds from that. So, but something else I thought was cool. This website's pretty cool. It's just like very like unique, and obviously all the stuff's not up yet, but this was something I thought was a cool idea. So a big part of tomb forks is what they call the Genesis pools. And that's so like the fork can like raise like some initial liquidity, because these tomb forks need a lot of liquidity for when they're trying to maintain peg. And Genesis pools are just a way to kind of like kickstart the liquidity. And usually they're pretty high APR for you to stake in them, but you pay like a deposit fee or something. Well, what HUBBLE did that I thought was like super cool was they already made like an initial pool of HUBBLE, like an initial liquidity pool. And if you hold a certain amount of HUBBLE, you can create like a Genesis pool for anything you want pretty much. So it allows, it's kind of like an incentive for people to get in early and hold, because usually these Genesis pools are just picked by the protocol. They're just kind of picking like, okay, who has volume, who like, what are the bigger projects? Like, what is something worth us getting these deposit fees from? So I thought that was a cool idea. There's already 14 projects here on the Genesis pool. So these are all just people that have held a significant amount of HUBBLE, which by the way has been going between like $300 and $500 a token, which is crazy. So so it's not cheap, but I think it's a really cool idea. And yeah, as you can see here, Derp, Uppies, also kind of like related to the Cult, Whale, Sonichu, Speed and Pour are two projects that are kind of related to each other. Right here in the middle, you got Goggles and THC. Gotta have those. S-Dog, Candle, which is another Cult project. Yay.
I'm a little scared of Sonichu.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with Sonichu. And then I guess somebody launched a Yay token on Sonic. So scratch everything I said about not having to worry about celebrities having tokens here. X33, which is related to Shadow, Shrimp, and Bull, which I also do not know what Bull is. But still, that's kind of the point though, right? Is that if you take an initial stake, when you're like helping, kind of like you're helping the price, you're keeping tokens off the market. It's kind of like investing, like investing in terms of like you have a say what's happening here, like with the project, which I just thought was really cool. You just don't see a lot of that. So, and they kind of like set the barrier high enough that it's definitely like you have to have like a significant holding to do this, which kind of reminds me of like early DAO stuff where people could make significant decisions for DAOs, but you truly did have to be like vested. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's interesting. So if you have a significant stake in any of these tokens, you can have a say in the progression of HUBBLE.
Yeah, you have to hold a certain amount of HUBBLE to add a token to the Genesis pool whitelist.
Interesting. Oh, okay, I see. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about Christian here. This is why it is the Christian character, Sonichu. That's why I'm a little concerned. I'm a little frightened. I'm a little scared because Christian is known to be a very powerful warlock. He's placed curses on very many people that have taken. I don't know if it is Dracula. I'm not even joking, really, dude. There's a lot of people that try to claim Sonichu, get the little medallion. They play a little joke. Look it up. The Sonichu curse, the medallion curse. Every single person who has gotten a Sonichu medallion has had their career horrifically ruined within 3 months. I'm just saying, guys, be careful with what you're playing with Sonichu. Come on the show, explain yourself to us.
Yeah. Now, I've seen a couple people talk about Sonichu, so maybe we'll follow the thread and make sure they're safe.
Now, if Christian himself is behind this, I don't know if that makes me feel better, but
I would
it'd be interesting.
Say no.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, probably not Drac.
So yeah, I'm not sure when those launch. I'm guessing it's coming pretty soon. There's another Tomb Fork too that's also in Genesis called Hand of God, which is really heavy for a crypto project to be like the Hand of God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, it's kind of got like a little twist on it too, where it's using AI to determine what emissions should be or something. But they're also in Genesis. Maybe we'll talk about that later in the week as that progresses. But yeah, shout out to HUBBLE. Interesting project. That's what I'm really liking to see with everything that's like happening with Sonic. It is kind of taking me back to that 2021, 2022, where people would get like pretty experimental on Fantom. And that was kind of like, that's kind of what we're seeing now is like people taking things, getting experimental with it. Of course, we have like all of our mainstay lower hanging fruit that you have to have, good dexes, lending, all that stuff. So now you're starting to see people get a little freaky with it.
You asked, is there any use case for these Tomb Fork tokens? Isn't it usually just speculate on them?
Yeah, I mean, it harkens back to, I guess, what most people would refer to as DeFi Ponzi's, like when you had Ohm Forks and Tomb Forks. It is just purely speculative in terms of like, you're just kind of playing the game. Everyone makes their own little strategies. They all play out different because they all have their own little tweaks or whatever to the system. So yeah, but it's not like real yield. It's not like swap fees or I don't know. It's definitely speculative. So be careful.
Yeah, there's not like a true underlying market value.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
What you getting into. So, and we just told you, so you're getting into. So
yeah, I saw some people talking about it this morning and they were kind of like, what do I do? Do I do this or do that? And I said, brother, like, go to YouTube, type in Tomb System or Tomb Fork, and definitely do some research if you've never played on any of these before you do anything.
Now, one of the classic lines in crypto is DYOR, do your own research. I want to go a step further. I want to say, if you don't understand how the game is working, do not play it. Okay,
so like
whatever you do, not play it if you don't understand it.
IYDUHGI. I was trying to get through that, but yeah.
If you don't know, get the fuck out.
If you don't understand how to get, but yeah, I mean, that's the best thing I can tell you is if you weren't around last run, and DeFi, the whole DeFi Ponzi stuff is kind of new to you. Do not buy any of this stuff without I saw that with one of the first, I guess the first Tomb Fork that really launched on Sonic, Snake. I did see a lot of people kind of like aping in certain super early, not necessarily understanding that the token is basically supposed to peg the S price. They were kind of buying it up like it was like a meme token launch or something. So yeah, if you see the words Tomb Fork or anything like that, just definitely do some research if you don't know about it.
For sure. Now, we've also got Stargate.
Yeah, wanted to touch on this. Now, this is kind of like I'm not going to say it's not a good announcement. It is a great announcement because now on Stargate, you can go directly into S. But what we were talking about before the show was just that I was like, I think that was supposed to be like kind of like day one on the Sonic. So not sure what happened there. Layer 0 Stargate, it's kind of like notorious for taking a lot of time on things like this, but it's here. And that's the important part. So
and that's what we care about.
Yeah. So they are officially integrated right in the Stargate, which means all those chains that you can use on layer 0, you can now like swap out of those chains right in the Sonic. It is helpful because as we keep adding these, it's kind of like D-Bridge has been amazing. And honestly, D-Bridge has kind of won me over. I mean, I used to be like a layer 0 guy, but D-Bridge is so fast, has so many options. But it is good to get more and more of these because it's like there's always like one or two things that one of these has that another one doesn't have. Like, for instance, D-Bridge doesn't have Blast, and I have some funds on Blast, and it's like it's always like this ordeal when I'm trying to move stuff from Blast to Sonic. So it's kind of like you want more and more of these because, like I said, it's almost guaranteed that one at least has one or two options that the next one doesn't have. But yeah, big news. I mean, that's a lot of inflow. Obviously, Stargate's like a huge liquidity layer, so can't hurt.
Yeah, the more routes, the better. So more power to them. Thank you for joining us, Stargate. Late to the party, but
welcome.
We're glad you're here.
Yes, better late than never.
And now we've also got Gearbox, which we just learned about something special about this before the show. Now, burgers, you need to break the law. You need to be a criminal to use this. But it is crime season after all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, you're gonna need a little doohickey that maybe displays your personal latitude and longitude as somewhere else.
Yeah, because I saw a little bit of this on the timeline. I don't think I read too deeply into it, but this Union Sonic drama. Let's come back to that because let's get Gearbox out of the way and then
we'll touch on that here. So Gearbox is another lending. Yeah, another lending platform, which I guess now we're doing pretty well because we got Silo, we got Euler, Vicuna is offering lending. I'm not sure if I said that right. They were kind of doing compounders, but now they have lending. But what's interesting about Gearbox is it is lending, but they have like integrations, right? And they do like integrations with certain protocols where you can basically kind of like create your own credit. So if you have like, let's say, I don't know if this works with concentrated liquidity. I was trying to find out before the show, but let's just say, okay, like you have a 50-50 LP position and they cover that on Shadow or Metropolis or SwapX or wherever. You can basically kind of like set up your own little leverage thing from your own like LP farm positions, which is super interesting. I don't know if that like also goes to products that don't have like oracles. It seems like most of the assets that get approved are like your staples, like Ethereum, Wrap, BTC, all the stables, probably Sonic, I would imagine. But I know at least on that kind of stuff, yeah, you're basically allowed to make your own little leverage borrowing from LP pools that you own. So I kind of think it's a really cool idea because oftentimes the lending protocols are like single-sided and you might be earning really well on a position that you don't want to break up. So being able to like play with like some lending funds from that, I think is like a super cool idea. So yeah, really big deal that they have made it on the Sonic. That's like another big get.
Yeah, I think this is a really cool one. It's pretty wild. They've got a lot of interesting little things you can do here, like longing and shorting like pools. It seems like leverage farming is kind of crazy, all in one platform. Cool stuff, dude.
Yeah,
the systems, the Ponzi's are getting even more sophisticated over here. But as you said, it seems that mostly these are pretty solid assets. They're not going to let you do.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to let you get like super exotic and borrow your Familio or. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, it's just coming out. They did just. I think they have gone live on Sonic. I believe if there's a toggle there, but if not, they're about to.
Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. I was on the wrong. Look at me, dude. On the wrong freaking platform here. Okay. Well, these strategies are not available, but
yeah. So yeah, it's early days. I guess they just have like some initial lending stuff going on, but ultimately it'll build out into being able to like borrow on these LP positions and leverage and all that stuff. So that will be super cool. And yeah, Fallout Zone. I know you were mentioning that. Corval might know more than I have. I kind of saw like a little blurb on it where they were beefing. Uni and Andre are beefing, and Hayden blocked him or something. And
I think it might be. I think I saw this tweet, and I think I was missing some context. Like, let me see if I can find it again. It might be actually one that I already have pulled up here. 1 second.
But yeah,
is it this one here? You guys have no idea how many meetings your team has, like this day after day, trying to get their projects, teams, wallets, for it to integrate, deploy. It's a nonstop battle of duty capacity constraints because they launch bullshit within 24 hours. I get it. We aren't the hot shit. That's fine. We'll make the victory so much sweeter, and we will win. Name another project that after 8 years is as relentless as us, and they're always willing to push yourselves. Your refusal only makes us hungrier.
Yeah, so I guess
this, Andre.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is in response to, it looked like things were kind of like moving with like Uni coming to Sonic, which of course a huge deal. Uni was even like giving out incentives for like some beefy stuff. They bridged Uni over to Sonic, but yeah,
it looks like they're talking about this. All sprung up from a conversation around Bunny when they would integrate Sonic. And Zephram says, we just need Andre to bully Hayden. Hayden blocked Andre, so he can't bully him anymore. But I could have sworn, I mean, the assistant was swearing up and down, dude. Or was he not? Was it Ave he was swearing up and down about?
Well, Ave's confirmed. It's a done deal. It's past their voting process. I mean, that's like, that's just a matter of when this thing finally drops. But with like a Uniswap, I think it was a little more amorphous. It was like, I think they were kind of putting their toe in the pool, but I guess they won't fully commit. So basically what Andre is saying is that people will add total dog shit really fast, but then something like Sonic, they're gonna like give them we're just really busy and we'll figure it out. And that's what I think he's getting frustrated about is,
I mean, we're all business people here, right? So we all know if you get a message like this, at this time, we won't be able to move forward with adding Sonic to our front end at the moment due to the engineering capacity of our current roadmap. We'll keep you posted if and when those capacity constraints are lifted. Please keep us posted of any excited. That's exactly what you get when someone is essentially telling you to like fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, it's a polite way of saying like fuck off.
Yeah, it's like a really nice way of being like, we're not going to do that anytime soon and probably not ever.
Yeah, because if you want the deal done, you give like a specific date, like we need this by this date, or we can get it by this date, or we need this specific thing done, whatever, right? But if it's
or if you're busy, like you said, it's like, or if you're busy.
This is the chick after the date being like, sorry, you're really nice, but like I've just got a lot going on in my life right now.
Yeah, you've just caught me in like a really awkward time in my life, and you're great, but I just don't think. I mean, that's basically what's like you said, it's like a nice way of just being like, yeah, we're good. But yeah, I can see the frustration in that. Like, I think a lot of people kind of made this comparison to like, for instance, and it's not really a great comparison because it's not like, vaporware or something, but a lot of people were up in arms that like Bera basically like launched with Coinbase and launched with all this stuff. And it's like, like we've like developed this like technically superior chain. There's all this great DeFi. I mean, we've climbed leaps and bounds through the TVL over the last couple of weeks, and you're going to like push us out of the way for another L2 or another whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the Coinbase thing still does strike me as quite insane at this point, like almost a full decade into this thing. And that, because the crazy thing is that last Brian Armstrong tweet where he's like, we don't charge anything to get integrated. So it's like, what's the holdup at this point?
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's pretty obvious that it's like, like that's just not true. You know what I mean? Like,
and Yankee points out there was a governance vote for Uni, which Sonic passed and even an offered incentive on. Now, this is kind of similar to, I don't know if I can say that. I got to refresh my memory about the context, which I learned this in, but there is like a problem with like DAOs in general, right? Where like thing like Congress, right? Like you can, I guess America kind of works a little bit better around this, but like you can pass a law or whatever, but you need like the executive to actually implement it, right? So like a big problem with governance is, we can all vote, but like if the team themselves are going to drag their feet on it, it doesn't matter, right? Like they're going to do it. Like I'm not the one actually with the keys or whatever as the community member. So it doesn't really matter. And it seems that's kind of what's going on here.
Yeah, which is kind of wild if you think about it. So to be honest, though, I mean, Uniswap, like, there's obvious benefits for the chain itself, but at the same time, it's like we got enough dexes, we got some great dexes, we got lots of liquidity.
It was Spooky Swap that was talking about this. We were talking about Spooky Swap with this. Remember Owen? He was saying they were building out a way so that the governance can directly apply these changes to the blockchain, which would be kind of cool. Would Uniswap adopt that? I don't know.
Probably not,
because they like to have this power, right? Like,
yeah, it's like it's still like having that like presidential veto at the very end of like Congress and everyone push it through, but there's still like that final veto power. And even though it passed, if it did pass governance vote, I mean, to me that is kind of like even wilder, where it's like, why won't you just do it then? What is the problem?
That's right, Yankee. They're worried that Sonic's going to take away the need for Unichain. I mean, is there much need for Unichain as is? I don't really know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of getting at is like, yeah, I mean, it would be nice, like in terms of like, it makes like people with big money and whatever like feel more comfortable. But do we really need it? I don't know.
Yeah. So crazy stuff here going on. The drama never ending, and we're gonna add a little bit to it here because I got another chatter chud. You down to play another chatter chud?
Oh man, I'm always down for a chatter chud. But
I want to get the if the audience is down for this too. I mean, I want to know what you think here. I mean, this isn't really a chatter chud. Maybe this is more of just kind of cool. I saw this. I always forget that this is something that Sonic has, which is the brand ambassador Pierre Gasly, a F1 racer, dude.
Rolling out with goggles.
Oh yeah. I thought Goggles was gonna run, but he gets his own car. I'd love to see Funeral animate a little Goggles running as fast as the epic. All right. Now this is an easy one. Gasly, chat or chud, dude?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna go chat on that. Still repping after all this time.
I mean he's been A1 since day one, bro. I mean, he's been to Sonic longer than I have, it feels like. So I gotta rep him. Now, next one up here, this is where we get real, okay?
Yeah.
Miles Dusher, Dutcher. I feel like the people make fun of me for how to pronounce his name. I don't know how to pronounce it, man. I feel bad. I'm not trying to make fun of his name. Miles Deutscher.
I think that's close. Like I've actually like talked with the guy a couple times, and I couldn't tell you how to say his name.
Feels bad. Anyway, Miles here, not to be confused with Lord Miles. He's saying we're about to exit the anger phase into depression. My best guess is that depression plays out over the summer before we have a leg up in Q3, Q4. What do you think about this, Drac? Chat or chud take here?
Arg.
Arg is what you say when you're angry. So
I think the take is a chud take right now. I still feel that by summer we're blasting off, but I see what he's saying. It's probably similar to, in terms of like the phases, it's probably similar to an outlook I've had, but his is just a little delayed. His structure is different than mine. So, but no, I think that I don't think it's over right now. I think we're just dealing with a lot of variables, a lot of macro stuff. I think by spring or summer, we start heating up around then. But am I going to be mad if we have to wait till Q3 and Q4? Hey, as long as we pump, I'm not too mad. But I'm going to have to say chud take on that one. Sorry.
Hey, I don't care when we get to the promised land as long as we get there. I think you're right. Bit of a chud take here. I feel like, if anything, he's moving too fast. I feel like a lot of it would still be an anxiety or denial. But I also don't necessarily even subscribe to this chart. I feel like this is like a trap, a mind trap to make you think that it's going to progress in some sort of way like this. I'm a student of chaos. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, it's like you said, this is very condensed because this chart usually takes, I mean, a year or two, not a year. I mean, it usually takes like 2 years or something to play out. And it's like, he's running this figure. If you're basing this on like, okay, like the market run up to like December was like euphoria. And I'm like, I don't think we've seen euphoria yet. So
yeah, I don't think we've seen euphoria yet. I don't think we've seen, but then again, like I said, I don't necessarily think this chart is like dogma, right? I don't think it necessarily has to play out. Because we could have been robbed of euphoria by the LA vape cabal, the broccoli heads coming in and taking all our money, dude.
That's true.
But Miles, sorry, bud. This week, you're chud. Next up, SBF came back, dude. They let him have his phone in prison or something. And this was a bizarre thread. I don't know if you read this.
I did read it. Yeah.
let's try to summarize it together, because from what I gathered, it's pretty much him just being like, yeah, I had to fire people, it sucks.
Yeah,
I think
very
he's addressing
strange.
it to Elon. I don't know.
Yeah, and he like gave it the same structure as his famous thread right after FTX with the what happened. But I kind of got an idea here, and I could be wrong. This could just be some super hyper autistic ramblings from SBF finally getting a chance at a keyboard. This to me strikes me as like kind of like what we were talking about with the Kanye situation. Where it's like, could this be someone's got his account and they're gonna try to like soften, slowly do some crap like this, and then you're finally just one day it's gonna be like, what guys, here's the Solana ticker. I feel like that's probably, I mean, and I could be wrong. Like I said, seeing SBF's stuff in the past, this could very much so just be like somebody let him use a keyboard for the first time in 2 years and he's just being weird.
I mean, yeah, because he was always a weird guy, and this does kind of seem like it matches his voice a lot more, I would say, than the Kanye ones did. But it is like completely out of like, what the fuck is he talking about, dude? Like, why would anyone give a shit what he thinks about this? He was a terrible, terrible CEO, and that the fucking company, even like a lot of people pointed it out now, like if he had been in the game just a little bit longer, everything would have played out well for him.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild that like even days after they immediately declared bankruptcy, like the same day as everything happening. And it was within days he was already like, yeah, actually, like, probably didn't have to do that. And it's like, bro, like, yeah, you could have probably rode that out and figured it out. So it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'll say Chud on this one. Now, Trump really wants to set it off. I say get SBF and Duquan out of prison. Let them cook. Let's really pump this thing to like 20 trillion market. Free those guys. Let them out.
Would it be the funniest possible thing is if he fires the current crypto czar David Sachs and replaces him with SBF?
Yeah, I mean,
would that be funny?
Yeah, let those guys out and let them get to work.
Give them power.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, next chat or chud here. This one's a little bit more silly here. Okay, this one's a little bit more nonsensical. It's just something I just saw and I liked. And by liked, I mean it just intrigued me. This guy says this is what every German town looked like before Napoleon. So we're gonna see, was Germany chat or chud before Napoleon? Is this chat or chud to you? How does that make you feel? Man. So guys, what do we think, chat or chud?
Honestly, brother's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to say probably a Chad take on that one.
All right, pretty good. All right, next up. Oh, I closed it out. Getting back in more into serious matters here. Arthur Hayes says Bitcoin Goblin Town's incoming because a lot of IBIT holders are hedge funds that went long ETF short CME future to earn a yield greater than where they fund short-term U.S. Treasuries. That basis drops as BTC falls, and these funds will sell IBIT and buy back CME futures. These funds are in profit and given basis close to UST yields. They will unwind during U.S. hours and realize their profit $70,000. I see you, mofo.
Yeah,
a freaking gobbledygook if you ask me, dude. But
yeah, and I'm actually a big fan of Arthur Hayes. But he writes stuff like this sometimes, and he's totally wrong. I see the sentiment, and the reason Arthur Hayes does have like interesting insights because before he got like really into crypto, this is the kind of stuff he was doing. He was working with like these like high level global market kind of like trading firms and all that stuff. So he does have like really in-depth knowledge on global markets and how institutions trade and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I enjoy reading his stuff a lot. But I just think that kind of like the Miles post, I'm just like, I think maybe we're just getting a little ahead of ourselves just over like a few days of red. The idea from what he's saying here seems plausible, but yeah, I'm going to have to regretfully say I think this is a chud take.
Oh, Arthur Hayes, chud.
Regretfully, sir. Regretfully.
All right, now what about this one?
Total Chad take. No brainer.
Total Chad take.
Yeah.
Total Chad take. No brainer. Hell yeah, Eric Trump, you're redeeming yourself here. Yankee says he treats Arthur Hayes like Jim Cramer and counter trades what he says. Interesting. All right. So let me tally up the points here. We've got Chud, Chad. I'm about to even split here. I think we got to get a tiebreaker here. Let me grab something Let me grab something really just from nowhere here. Let me just grab someone who could really split this. Is how about this? BitBoy, BitBoy Armstrong, Chad or Chud take here. It looks like I'll be attending ETH Denver. However, I am please asking everyone to allow me to have a low profile. Chad or Chud wants to be treated like a normal guy. He wants to be just one of the people. Would you be starstruck if you saw BitBoy in person now?
Man, it's kind of sad that when he was really like crashing out and like trying to steal his Lambo back and back on drugs, he was really kind of like entering Chad territory for me. Lately been a little bit of a chud, a little bit of a downer. Everybody was worried he's about to hurt himself or something a week or two ago. Yeah. Now he's just going to ETH Denver, acting like nothing happened. This is also regretfully a chud take. Hopefully BitBoy gets back to Chad status.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's chud. I think so. This week is a chud week, dude. It looks like we're in the chud week at the start of the week here. Thanks to BitBoy.
Thanks for nothing, BitBoy. It's a chud week now. Yeah. I
would love to see BitBoy start listening to Future a bit more. Learn how to crash out in a more respectable way. Go to the strip club, dude. Whatever this crap that you're doing, that's not it, bro.
Yeah, I'm not feeling like the putting all your business in like 20 paragraphs on X every day. You need to be going to the strip clubs. You need to be getting in the trenches. You need to be
coming on the GMSONIC podcast, dude. Because he was like, no one is. He said no crypto channels are interested in telling my story. I was pissed the fuck off, dude. I responded to every one of his tweets and said, "Come on the show, dude." He's supposed to be a friend of the little guy, and look at him.
Yeah, it'll be like a Lord of the Rings marathon. It'll be like a 12-hour episode or something, but we'll get started at like 8 a.m. and let him get going.
Yeah, I'd be very tyrannical a bit, boy. I'd be cutting him off, dude. We'd be running ad breaks.
This first comment's pretty good, though. He says, if you want a low profile, announcing your visit is probably not the best way to go about it. Because, I mean, if he just rolled up with his hat and a hood up or something, I mean, he's going to get recognized, but maybe at least he could just be like, hey, how's it going, and walk on. But now he's just saying, hey, everybody, I'm going to be there. Don't bother me. So I'm sure that nobody's going to bother him now.
Yeah, he's literally, it's the Streisand effect, right? Like you ask people not to talk about something, they're going to talk about it.
Exactly. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got today.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on Friday. Ain't that right?
We will see you there.
Adios, team.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.